There we go. So I'll start on Santas Lapland. Santas Lapland really is, Santa's got it there, is our all-encompassing, handheld, perfect sort of family Lapland experience. I was just saying to Sally before we started, I've personally booked for 2022 for my own family, and very much are in support of the brand, and what we have to offer is ideal for families, but also multi-generation families. So we have everything from our cheeky little elves making appearances. We go to Sarasota, which is the furthest north resort that I think most operators go to. So we fly direct to Sarasota for this season. So 2021 winter season, we have 13 departures from across regional departures from the UK, and we are on sale for 2022, and we have 14 regional departures for then as well. And I think one of the reasons it's important to get this out, but because obviously so many people have moved from last season to the coming season, we are already really sold for the coming season. So if it is something you're looking at, it's important to get in there as soon as possible. So, as I said, one of the furthest northern resorts in Finland, 250 kilometres north of the Arctic Circle. That does mean that we are able to offer you a snow guarantee, and it is even a few years ago when randomly there was a ridiculous snow concerns, Sarasota had no problems, we didn't cancel any trips, and there was snow for everybody. And it's a nice short transfer. So because we go to Sarasota, the flight is to Ivalo, and it's only a 25-minute transfer or 3 or 4 carols on the coach. So nice and short, which is ideal for young families because there are a number of Lapland trips that do have very long transfers. And then we have the lovely Sarasota, which is a small village. I was asked the other day to do a map on it and send a map. I was like, really, it's one road with like 4 hotels and one on the hill. It's really not very big, and I could draw it on one small piece of paper. So it's a nice, remote, traditional village. It means it's got minimal light pollution, and it's nice and chilled out for a young family. And our packages are inclusive. I know agents love the Santas Lapland thing, and I think it is because it's nice and easy for you guys. It's nice from the point of getting out there. You don't have to worry about having to add lots of extra bits to your program or anything else. Loads is automatically included. So we have 2 programs. We have the Aurora and the Santa's Magic. And I'll go through those individually in a little bit more. We also offer 3 or 4-day breaks within both packages. We have some free trial places. There are some still available for 2022, but they are disappearing rather quickly. As I mentioned, 13 regional departures. Obviously, we include the transfers. All our packages are based on a half-board basis. If for any reason on the Magic you wanted to downgrade to bed and breakfast, then that is an option. And as I mentioned before, the snow guarantee as well. We also automatically include the sort of Arctic suits and boots. I've always said that we advise you to dress for a cold English winter, and we'll give you the specialist equipment to top you up to that Arctic level, because it can be anything from 0 to -30, and that can change in the course of a day as well. It's a well-known thing that there is no like being too cold but you inappropriately dressed, and we make sure that you don't have that concern. Obviously, from the point of what age we recommend, and this covers sort of the whole talk about Lapland, personally I don't think you can put an age on it, and anyone with children knows that every child is different. Now personally I would always say, if your child can put their gloves on and keep them on when told to, when they can put a hat on and keep it on when told to, and when they can tell you they're cold. Now my nearly 2-year-old takes her gloves off whenever she feels like, and generally we'll talk about biscuits probably more than being cold. So not ready yet. And generally we say over 2 for any of our Lapland packages, but really around 4 and upwards is more of an ideal age, because they have that vocabulary then. Because it can be cold, you need to have that to ensure they have a fantastic trip, and we have no concerns for them. So the Santa's Aurora trip we added to our programme a couple of years ago. It is a highly inclusive programme. It has the wilderness dinner, which is at our amazing igloos that are built from scratch every year. They're double height, story height, and a fantastic, unique experience. They have an Aurora hunt by huskies, a snowmobile search for Santa, where you go and see Santa. You have a full day at our activity centre where you have lots of different excursions and things. And then we've got a few extra bits included, with snowmobile drive to the reindeer farm, as well as a longer reindeer husky ride as well. 2-course lunch is always included on our activity day as well, and our staff are always on hand to ensure everyone has a fantastic time. And with that Aurora, which is the action-packed programme with a few extras within that, you're exclusively staying at the Star Arctic Hotel. This is, as you may have seen, Sally's backdrop for this evening. She is nicely placed in Finland there, but it's a beautiful hotel that was built on top of the fell, on top of the ski slope, and one of the largest toboggan runs in Europe. And so all the rooms face north. They're an absolute, really made the most of glass, and to get the optimum views over the tundra of Finland. And so there's 3 different room types there. You've got one of those images is the glass cabin, and then you've got two other options as well. Generally sleep 2 to 4, and there are a couple of bigger ones for a slightly larger family. But a beautiful property, really, yeah, the best in Sarasota, and the dining is meant to be fabulous there as well. To get down into resort, if you have a little bit of a time to do that, then you can toboggan down the whole hill, or there is a little local bus as well. But absolutely stunning property, and it really for that programme is ideal. And saying to Sally, given the difficult decision of booking my own family, we have gone for the Aurora, and I couldn't really resist, because it is that wow factor, and is absolutely beautiful. Then you have the Santa's Magic. I would generally say if you've got a slightly younger family, or you want a little bit more flexibility, then the Santa's Magic is ideal. It has, you have, again, on the 3 or 4 day programme, and you have that full activity day automatically included. Now, just to go into that one a little bit more, we have our Arctic Circle Centre. It is exclusively set up for Santas Lapland. No other person can rock up or book it individually. We've definitely been asked about it, but you can't. You either are travelling with Santas Lapland or not. It's a woodland setting, candlelight through the forest, with Finnish cotters, which are like teepees, beautiful fires inside, and log cabins. And set through the forest, we have a multitude of activities to ensure that you and your family are absolutely busy all day, but it's done nice and traditionally. We try and avoid anyone having to queue for anything, and we want it to be a relaxed day where you don't need to look at your watch, and you can really enjoy everything we have on offer. The only thing that we have a time slot for is the husky sleigh ride, and that's obviously just to make sure that the dogs have breaks and everything else. But other than that, it is all sort of a free flow activities. So you have a private meeting with Santa, and you're pulled through the forest by a snowmobile and a sledge behind, to go and find Santa in his log cabin, and normally a few cheeky elves outside as well, so you have to watch for the snowballs. But and then we've got reindeer sleigh rides, husky sleigh rides, as mentioned. The Igloo Fantasia is there, so we have 2 massive igloos. One is an ice bar where, if you wish, you can buy the odd extra drink. But then our cotters that are throughout the forest do have hot berry juice freely available, and biscuits, so you can take a bit of time out as well. And because we have so many people come with us that are 3 generation, 4 generation, it gives the moment for grandma to have a little bit of a sit down, or some of the younger children to have a little warm up as well. So it can be done at such a leisurely pace. We have the Reindeer Center as well, where the children get to find out about the reindeer and everything. My daughter obviously had to leave out mushrooms for the reindeer. Working for Santas Lapland, having been out there, reindeer eat mushrooms, and you can Google it, and I had to Google it because that's what you have to do for 5-year-olds nowadays. You have to prove that's the fact. So they do eat mushrooms, and my daughter left out mushrooms for her reindeer this Christmas. But and then meet on our naughty little elves that are there. You've got snow and ice activities, ice fishing. We've got toboggans out, and especially cordoned off areas, so it's nice and safe. And obviously our staff are always on hand as well. The 2-course lunch generally would be like a pasta type dish in our nice warm log cabins, and then they normally have pancakes and berries and things in our cotters as well for pudding. With the magic as well, you also have a gala dinner on the last evening, which is just sort of a little festive feast at your hotel. With the Arctic Circle Centre, from the hotels, we say, right, we'll pick you up at 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10, take you to the Arctic Circle Centre, which is about 15 minutes away from Sarasota itself. But then coming home is literally, we just have coaches ready to go when people are ready. So there's no rush. If you are there as a multi-generation family, if someone's had enough, or you've got a younger child that wants to go and have a nap, not a problem. Yeah, they will be there till the last person wants to leave. So it's not a problem, and it's your holiday to really enjoy. The 4 properties that we have on offer within Sarasota itself, so it's within the village of Sarasota. Sarasota has it's got a cash point, it's got a few souvenir shops, as well as a shop that literally sells everything from a packet of crisps to a snowmobile. So you do have a few other amenities within the resort, but it is particularly small. You've got the Santa's Hotel Holiday Club. Now that one has a beautiful pool, and it's kind of more on the sort of halfway sort of between your Centre Parks type and your standard English pool. And then there's rooms and suites within the main property, and then you've got lovely apartments and some log cabins within the grounds of the property. And you just have to come out of those to go into the main hotel. All these properties as well have places where you can hang your jackets and things as well, so if you get to dinner you haven't got all your suits and boots and everything everywhere as well. You can use the pool at the Holiday Club as an external patron, and that has been in operation for years before, so hopefully that will still stand. It is sort of quite pricey as an additional pool, but it is a possibility. So if another room type or accommodation suits you better, don't let it be your be all and end all. Then you've got the hotel, Santa's Hotel Tunturi. It's main, you've got a central building with the bar and the restaurant, and then a couple of different annex buildings, sorry my hands, annex buildings dotted around, which have different room types within them. Now Tunturi has anything from a single room up to a 10 berth apartment that has 5 bedrooms, a sauna and a lounge. So you've got fantastic variation and options for your multi-generation and groups, because it is something that we do get quite a few groups, or I mean I'm going with my parents and my brother and stuff. So it is one of those fantastic experiences that works really well as a larger extended family. And then we've got the gay lass wing as well of the Tunturi, and that's just a slightly newer area of the Tunturi, and was built about 5-6 years ago, and is a little bit more modern in its decor. Then you've got the Santa's Hotel Reykjavik, the rooms and suites that are in the main building. I often recommend if people have any mobility issues or don't have to worry about going in and out of a property. And then you've got suites set behind the property itself within the forest. And then we have our sort of entry-level property, which is the Sarasota Inn, and a great little option. You dine at the Tunturi for the main meals, but that's literally just across the road, so it's not far at all, and that's just yeah, one of our other properties. So as I said as well, it's all based on half board. If you wanted to downgrade to bed and breakfast, that's not a problem. All the hotels have a la carte restaurants as well, and I think the Holiday Club had a pizzeria before, so there are other options if people wanted variations, and as I said, there is a supermarket that literally sells everything, so snacks and things are possible to get from there. And then if our trips weren't packed enough, then and people especially going on the longer duration trip, so obviously we do the 2-night program and we do the 3-night program. On the 3-night program, it does give that opportunity on both trips to have a bit of a free day, whether you spend that tobogganing and souvenir hunting, or just admiring the absolutely beautiful scenery. But if there was something that you love skiing and so want to squidge in a little bit of skiing within it, or do snowmobiling or some other excursions, then we can add those on as well. Northern Lights Adventure is literally a snowmobile safari in the evening. You have to have a driving license to drive, and you have to be over 16 to ride pillion. But then the children would be in a sledge pulled by an instructor, which is the safest place for them, I can assure you, by having seen some English drivers. That's an amazing experience, and whether the Northern Lights come out or not, it is beautiful to drive in the wilderness in the evening, and then they talk about the mystic of the Northern Lights, and the wonder and what it means to the Sami people, which are the traditional Lappish culture. The adult snowmobile, so the joy of possibly going on with a larger party is that you may be able to sneak off and have a adult snowmobile, and for anyone that has possibly spent more time with their children in the last year, I think, than they ever thought they would, then maybe doing that might be quite nice. So along with downhill skiing, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, a bit more Rudolph, Raider Run or Husky Heaven, but obviously our trips do automatically include Rudolph, the reindeer, sorry, and Huskies, but if you want to do a little bit more, then that's possible as well. Then the other option, so we have our Inghams Santa breaks as well. So Inghams Santa breaks is a little bit longer, so it's on a 3 or 4 night duration. We fly from Manchester, Gatwick and Bristol, and we go to Levy or Ulas, which are slightly bigger towns that I'll go into more detail as we go through. We automatically include the thermal suits and boots with those as well. And then we do a really nice trip to Santa's Elves Hideaway, where they do cookie cutting, like crafts, and it is a really nice afternoon or morning, with obviously a private meeting with Santa. And then we have a festive meal included as well, and with a small gift and things. And then with that one, it is a little bit better for if you want to tailor make it or go to a bigger resort. Then with obviously Sally's help, she could tailor make it a little bit more to specifically what you're after, and add on huskies, reindeers, snowmobiling, skiing. One of the things where we've been doing Lapland for over 20 years now means that we do have fantastic relationship with our suppliers, and are able to offer the best rates for these excursions on there as well. And obviously we have our staff on hand to make sure everyone is well looked after throughout. So I generally think Santa's Lapland, if you've got slightly younger children and you want it all encompassing done with Inghams Santa breaks, is a little bit more, you can tailor make it. It might work a little bit better if you've got older children and don't want to be so much the Santa element. Then we offer with Inghams, we have really lots of flexibility with the Lapland programs going forward. So we do December to February. Obviously we're on sale for 21-22 winter season, and really can create the ideal scenario of what you're after. And I'll go into each of those a little bit more detail. So with the Resort of Sarasota, which I've already mentioned in our Santa's Lapland program, but we offer a 7-night with Inghams. Now the 7 nights do generally work out a little bit more cost effective. So they can be a great, if you've got time, then get out there. And I think more often than not, I hear people go, I was going to do it as a once in a lifetime experience, and we've booked again next year, because it is addictive and the scenery is absolutely spectacular, and people just don't realize how much they like it and get out again. So a 7-night experience, you can definitely fill your time very well within it. So we do charter flights to Kittler, so it is a slightly longer transfer for the 7-night stay. We offer the 4-star Star Arctic, as well as the Mooka Wilderness Lodge, which I'll go into in a little bit more detail, as well as the other properties that were within the Santa's Lapland programme. And there are some self-catering apartments and cabins throughout Sarasota as well that we can offer. Lots of different, so you really, with the 7 nights, we book your accommodation, transfer and flight, and then you can tailor make exactly what you want with that. Obviously on arrival we would give you the itinerary, and that's just to make sure obviously you've got numbers and knowing what the weather's going to be like to get the perfect itinerary sorted. Within Sarasota there's 12 kilometres of piece, which are floodlit during the darker months, and really between sort of late November and into Jan is pretty dark for a lot of the time, with a sort of dusky within 10 till 2. But it's amazing conditions. I was lucky enough when I was at uni many years ago to do a 3-month exchange in Finland, and the skiing out there is certainly really, really nice snow, and a really good quality of snow, because they don't tend to have absolutely tons, but what they do have, it stays, and it's a really nice snow. But for Sarasota, lots of mix of families, mature guests, and anyone looking really to have a bit of independence as well. And then I just admitted someone. So lots of options. We also do weddings as well. So there is a beautiful chapel in Sarasota too, if anyone was thinking of a proper white wedding. The Mooka Wilderness Lodge, which I mentioned there, is just outside of Sarasota. It's about 15 kilometres from the main resort, and there it really is your immersive experience of Lapland. It sounds obviously quite traditional, but definitely not scrimping on any luxuries, and the rooms available are absolutely fantastic. We have 7 or 3 nights to the Wilderness Lodge. You can also do a Mooka 2 centre, so you do some of the time in Sarasota, some of the time at the Mooka Lodge. And obviously out there, even though Sarasota is quite small itself, obviously here you are completely out of any light pollution. You have Aurora alerts till 1 AM, and lots of activities automatically included, including Aurora hunting, snowmobiles, husky safaris and reindeer safaris. All the warm thermal suits and clothing is included within the Mooka Lodge, and then free use of the snowshoeing, cross-country ski equipment and full board meals, because it's not quite so easy to pop to the shops from there. Yeah, it's amazing, completely immersive experience out there. There also are Aurora cabins with more glass to have overnight stays in as well. So that's a fantastic, really immersive experience to do the Nootka Lodge. Then we also offer a Sarasota short break. So if you're not looking to go with the children, or are past that with the young children, then this is a fantastic option. So it generally runs from January to early March to Sarasota, so really nice snowshore, and we have a direct flight into Ivalo with a nice short transfer, and it automatically includes the activity package. So it runs on a Thursday to Sunday, and it's a Gatwick direct flight. It's you can do the 4-star Star Arctic, and that one offers multi-taster Lapland experience automatically included, snowmobiling, reindeers, huskies, private jacuzzi session and massage, and gentle snowshoeing tour. Or you can do the short stay to the Nootka Wilderness Lodge, and that includes the thermal clothing, Aurora alerts, gentle snowshoeing tour, cross-country skiing, Aurora hunt, and Aurora camp by snowmobile sled. So that's a fantastic option if someone wants a short break. I mean, to be fair, the way that some people do hen do's and stag do's, if you just went with a small group of you, that would be absolutely amazing. Just a really immersive short stay option. So if you haven't got the luxury of 7 nights, then that's an amazing option when you don't want it to be about Santa. That's one for you there. And then our other 7-night options, and just talking about those resorts that we include within our Santa breaks a little bit more. We have the resort of Levy. It's one of the most popular Lapland resorts, 20 minutes from Kittila, so nice and short transfer there. And we offer a range of hotels and cabins, cottages and apartments. They have amazing facilities, especially at the Spa Waterworld, and lots of different cafes and bars within the resort as well. You can do a 2-day husky safari from there, as well as snowshoeing. It has 44 kilometres of piste, which are floodlit again during the darker days, and amazing conditions for skiing and snowboarding. And within Levy, some of the main properties, we have the Levy Hotel Spa, with the Spa Waterworld that you can do again as an external patron. We have the Crazy Reindeer, which is really nice, quite themed hotel, and then the Design Hotel as well are our main ones within Levy that are available on the Inghams 7-night breaks or the Inghams Santa breaks. Within the 7-night stays on any of them, apart from the Nootka Lodge, we don't automatically include the clothing, just because we do have skiers that want to go and will have their kit already, but we can add that on, so we can just add it on as an extra as Sally goes through any bookings with you, so that is still available. And then we've got Ulas, absolutely amazing unspoiled scenery. The picture there really dictates, it is such synonymous with Lapland, the sort of caked on frozen snow of the trees, and it does just go for miles within the tundra of Lapland. So the transfer is only 35 to 55 minutes from Kittila. That sounds like it's really quite varied, but that's because there's 2 clear areas of the resort. You've got Akas Lompolo and Ulas Yavi. And then you have the choice of cabins and cottages and apartments. If you take on a couple of cabins as a party, do just ensure the bookings are cross-referenced, and then we know you're together, because the cabins can be in completely different areas of the resort. So the cabins can sleep up to 12 and really give that sort of traditional Lapland feel. An amazing full range of excursions available. We do advise, especially if if there's certain core things you want, to get those pre-booked onto your package when you make your reservation, just to secure those in, and generally the rates in advance are better. And then we've got 53 kilometres of piste, which are floodlit during the darker days again. So it's the biggest from the skiing point of view in Ulas, and amazing conditions there again for cross-country skiing. And the choice there, we have the ACAS hotel and apartments, as well as the log cabins of Ulas as well. And they do really vary in size. So there's lots of options no matter what size of party you are. And then we did also add on to our 7-night stays for Levy and Ulas, which are available from late November through to end of December. So for 4+, we had 2 packages that we've added the Santa experience. So if you are taking advantage of maybe the better value that you get for a 7-night, but you still want that Santa experience and the main activities included, then we can, with Sally, add that on for you. So for Levy, it would include the Elves Hideaway, 8-kilometre Husky Safari, 3-kilometre Reindeer Safari, and the thermal suits and boots. And for Ulas, we have the Santa's Hideaway, 10-kilometre Husky Safari, and 1.5-kilometre Reindeer Safari, and all the thermal suits and boots. So it really is quite a nice little easy thing to add on to a December package. If you've got a little bit more time, then the 7-night does work out really, really quite good. And then there are lots of different excursions to be added if people wish. Santa is only around really before Christmas, and he tends to go on his hollybobs afterwards. So get in there in December, end of November for those. We've got obviously reindeers, variations in snowmobile safaris, whether they're evening or adult, and then snowshoeing, lots of skiing and huskies as well. And then a memorable overnight stay. So obviously you mentioned that we do work with specialist wedding people out there as well as maybe a proposal, just because, or anniversary or birthday, then nothing more beautiful than one of our glass igloos. So through Levy, we do the luxury glass igloos, the Aurora cabins, and the Lanio Snow Hotel. Now, the snow hotels are built from scratch every single season, are absolutely beautiful. In Ulas, you can do the Lanio Snow Hotel, and then Sarasota, the Aurora cabins from the Mook Lodge. So a few options there for that amazing trip, and those generally the overnight stays are done as an excursion, so you still have your property to run back to if you need to, but absolutely amazing. They all generally have sort of Aurora alerts till silly o'clock, just so you don't miss it. The Northern Lights are a little temperamental. They tend to do what they want, but being out of any light pollution makes a massive difference. And often cold, crisp nights and clear skies. So generally between the months of September and March, April is more the common time for them, and tend to be a little bit later on, but getting out of the light pollution, and you start to see sort of the green lights and the colours, if you're lucky, that drop down. So, and just to go over, obviously we've I mentioned obviously travel counsellors only work with companies that they trust, and I think it's been the measure of many companies, but we do have a COVID refund promise, and obviously we're ABTA and ATOL protected. As an example, for the ski season, it's we haven't known what's happening. We've changed when we're taking people's balances. We're not taking people's money when we don't know what's happening, and we have adjusted how we've operated on an ongoing basis as we all are in this situation. And obviously, even for where we're on sale for 2022, it is just a deposit. For Santas Lapland, it's £150 per person. For Inghams, it's £155 per person. But then the full balance wouldn't be due until much nearer departure. Obviously, lovely to have you all with us this evening. If you've got any questions, then not a problem. I can answer away.
That was brilliant, Hannah. Thank you. I think everybody's just taking all that in. Lots of information to take in there. There's quite a lot on offer with just the programme that you offer, isn't there, with the 3 and 4 night different breaks and the week stays, and whether you want Santa involved in your trip or not. So that was fantastic. There are a couple of questions that did come up through the chat, Hannah. So if I just jump to them, and then if anyone else wants to pop on. And I think I semi-answered this. There was a question about what age are the free child places up to, which I think was up to 11.
So with Santas Lapland, our prices go up to 11, and the free child places are up to 11. They're loaded as more of a quantity than a specific itinerary. So it's only 1 per 2 full paying adults. It's generally on the off-peak dates and generally on 2 night stays with Santas Lapland. So I think they're from the 15th and below, so the November and then up to the 15th. I think we have some loaded. I know certain dates are definitely sold out fast, and they tend to be more the midweek dates on the 2 night stays.
So we can always pick that up separately if somebody's looking for what availability we can get with those, but that's great. So that was up to 11. Hopefully that answers your question, Sue. We've also had a question with regards to the youngest age for the adult snowmobile, please, which I didn't know off the top of my head.
It would be a qualified driver, so I would presume as long as you've got a driving license, which I think is 17 or 18 in this country, then you are fine to drive.
Okay, so 17 would be the answer to that one then. Brilliant. I think we've got, so how cold are the ice hotels at night, and how does that work?
So they tend to have reindeer skins on the bedding, and then obviously specific things. But I don't know any of you've watched some of the winter programs that have been on over the festive period, but the amazing thing of an igloo or a dougloo, or which is made from packed snow, is that they, even if it could be -30 outside, it will be around more 0 and upwards in the ice hotel. So obviously still cold, but a lot warmer than it is outside, which is why originally they were built as shelters. But I think with it's more for the experience. I'm not going to say that you're going to have the most comfortable and beautiful night's sleep ever, but it's the experience, and you obviously dress appropriately and have lots of layers. Reindeer skins are very much are very warm to sleep on as well. So yeah.
I think, yeah, you touched on, I was going to sort of say on that, sort of from previous inquiries and that I've done, is they're very much about the layers, isn't it? So that you don't get too hot and sweat and then cool down very quickly. That's
all about wicking layers and lots
of, we've got a question about how much would the Aurora package be per person. Obviously that depends on when it's travelling and the departure airport, so that's something that I could maybe pick up, unless you've got an answer, sort of a lead in.
My head would be quite vague. The earlier you go in December, and if you took a short a two night break, that would help keep the cost down, and obviously the younger the children. We do put quite a lot of the discounts and concessions into the child places, so yeah, like pay half price for children on numerous dates, but it's generally probably from about $1,200 for an adult, off the top of my head, and then child concessions available as well on the lower dates.
Great, thanks, Hannah. Hopefully that answers your question. Something, yeah.
Specific
yeah, I mean, if you wanted to catch up with me after, pop me a message, we can look at specific dates and availability and that for you. That's all the questions there. If anyone wants to come off of mute and ask a question, then feel free. Plenty, we've got time to do questions if anyone else has got any more. We're all quiet. We're all trying to decide which one to go to when we can go. Brilliant. Okay, no, so I think we've answered all the questions, Hannah. So so really to wrap up, first of all, thank you, Hannah, that was excellent. If there's anyone that wants to take this any further and would like to know more about any of those individual itineraries and availability, then please get in touch. I'd love to be able to help you with that. As Hannah said, as a supplier that we work with, fantastic. They do all the right checks. They do look after you as customers when you're there, which is what I want from my customers, from an experience wherever they go in the world. So that's really important to me. And thank you for jumping on this evening and your time, and I hope you've all enjoyed it.
Great, thanks very much.
Thank you.